why?
Oh, that's a book. From reading the plays, what do you think?
The problem that I'm in an earlier stage of my research now. I'm gathering data here from London because these books are not available in my country. So I get the 6 volumes published by the Penguin Publishing House from here.
And the stories? There's a 7th volume of stories.
7 volumes of stories?
No, there's a 7th volume, which is of stories.
I see.
And they're just as important to me as the plays.
Of course, yes. I'm specialized mainly in modern dramas.
Oh, in drama?
But I have to read the stories as well. They shed light on plays and vice versa.
Yeah.
So. Can I put the question in another way?
Yeah, try.
Is there a difference between you, Mr. Arnold Wesker, the man, and Wesker, the playwright? I mean, have previous experiences of the man affected the artist?
I think that there are as many differences as similarities. I think that the similarities are there because it's impossible not to, like blood, be part of what it is you produce. The differences are that sometimes you achieve a clarity in your work that you don't in your life, which generally is a mess. So those are the differences and the similarities, but that's general and not specific. And I suppose the simple answer to your first question, if I understood it, is that I've always been concerned with human potential, emotionally, socially, professionally, whatever. And it's excited me to see it. Well, it's never totally fulfilled, but it always captures my admiration to witness people striving, even if they mostly fail. So you could say that the plays are, and the stories are a map, a chart of people attempting to do things in their life and surviving their mistakes.
So you agree that drama has to have a message? Do you agree that drama could reveal a certain vital political or social issue?
I don't think that talking about messages helps. I don't think that's the language of art. I think art communicates values. And those are what I think reflected in any work, whether it's music, painting, poetry, the novel, or drama. But I don't know if you've read the one-woman plays.
Yes, I got it this week again from bookshops because they were not available there.
Well, in the first of the one-woman, or rather, the first one that was written, Annie Wobbler, although I think it's the last in the volume, if you read the last part of Annie Wobbler carefully, you'll see that it's about a writer. It's a writer who's being interviewed, much as in the same way you're interviewing me. And she pretends three different persona, or rather she pretends two. One is the modest persona, the other is the arrogant persona, and the third is what she really is. what she really feels. And I think if you read that, you'll get what I feel about being a writer in relationship to my work.
But why is it you continue to maintain in the light of recent events, not least in the Eastern Bloc, your theory of working class exploitation? I'm asking this question because the majority of your works seem to draw the material from history. So how far were you influenced by history in your works?
Wait a minute. I've never been overtly concerned about working class exploitation. This is
the title of my research too.
Well, it's the theme of one of the plays, The Roots. But and it's not even the theme of that. The theme of Roots is self-discovery. The fact that the working class were exploited is just one contributory element. It's not a major theme.
It's not a predominant?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicken Soup with Barley is about the disintegration of a family, paralleled with the disintegration of a political ideal. But it's essentially it's about a family.
But in this play, is there an underlying distinction in this play, Roots, between the British middle class on the one hand and the Jewish working class in Britain? Moreover, a distinction between British working class and Jewish one?
Well, I think there's probably a distinction, and it's mainly to do with a cultural distinction. Although there are points at which they meet, there's a very interesting and strong, but not predominant tradition in the British working class of respect for learning and the arts.
You think that learning and culture is the way out? It's the solution for people to get out of their plight?
I think that if there is any hope, and I don't think, I think most of us end up disappointed with the way we've conducted our lives. But if there's, and certainly with the way the world treats us, but if there's any hope, it's through learning and the arts.
Yeah. So what do you consider the plight of the Jewish proletariat in Britain to be? What, in your opinion, is the obstacle that hinders Jewish progression in Britain?
Well, I don't think there is any.
There isn't.
No, I mean there never was. Can you hold on one moment?
Yes, sure.
11:30 at the community. Yeah. 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 And that's where you'll be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What message? Oh yes, okay. Yes, I'll try not to. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Have a good show. No problem. No, thanks. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Where were we?
I've been saying about the plight of the proletariat here in Britain.
Yeah, you can't. As happens with all immigrants, when the Jews first came, they were impoverished, but they worked hard, and most of them. I mean, there were very few Jewish poor and proletariat in England. They're either middle class or upper middle class, or they're professionals. I mean, the history of the Jews is fairly similar all over the world. They to doctors and solicitors and accountants and academics and artists, and that's where you'll find them, or taxi drivers, and shopkeepers. But there was in the early days of the century a Jewish proletariat. I mean, my parents were poor, and most of my family, but that was because they were immigrants, and they belonged to that group that didn't aspire to either the professions or to business. They weren't business people. But that happens to be my background. It isn't the background of every
play.
Yeah.
So, what is the most significant play that reflected this background?
Well, in a strange way, the play called Shylock.
Shylock, yes.
Which, although it's set...
Previously called The Merchant.
That's right, yes. Although it's set in Venice, at the 16th century, the spirit of the central character is very much what I think animates my background and my experience.
Yeah. What are the best or most illuminating critical study of your plays? Who was the critic who could actually tackle your themes very well?
Well, there's one that I know by Glenda Leeming, called Wesker the Playwright.
I have this book, and I think I completed study as well of your plays.
But yes, it's not up to date because I think it was published in the early 80s. And so there are a number of plays since then. But there's recently been one published in America called Understanding Wesker. And it's published by the University of, it may be Ohio, and I can't remember the name of the man who's written it.
I can find it.
But Understanding Wesker, it must be in the American catalogue of books, because it's published within the last 3 months, I think.
Another question, your last dramatic work, as I knew from bookshops, was Volume 6 by the Penguin Publishing House, Lady Othello. Have you just written more recent plays after this volume, newer than the previously mentioned ones?
Well...
Or plays not yet in print? It would be a very good opportunity for me to get its name. I'd be having the advantage of hinting at it in my study.
Yeah. There's a play called Three Women Talking, which is about to go into rehearsal in Chicago. There's another, a sixth one-woman play called Letter to a Daughter, which is in rehearsal in Norway for Norwegian television, although it's written for the stage. I wrote it for a Norwegian actress. And I've just finished a commissioned play to open a new theatre, which isn't built yet, but they hope to have it built by early '93. And the play is called, it's a working title, it's called William of Norwich.
Finally, how do you envisage the structure of society to be in the years to come?
I haven't the faintest idea. I suspect it will be the same. The structures, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not a prophet. And I don't know enough about...
You have the insight of an artist?
Well, I think artists are concerned mainly with human relationships. And it seems as though the human relationships that operate today operated in the days of the Bible. And not much has changed about human beings. Their situation has changed, but it doesn't seem to affect the way in which they treat each other, both good and bad. Human relations are always difficult, and I suspect always will be.
I mean, society, the image of society as reflected in drama and plays. How will you reflect it later, I mean, in the future? So this is the beginning of my question.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't begin that way. I work from experience.
Yes.
And I can't know what experience. Well, anyway, I haven't many years left. If I have another writing life of 10 years, I shall be very lucky. But I wait until the experience happens and then write. I'd actually like to stop writing and take up painting.
Painting?
I'd like to do that, yes.
In a later stage of my research, do you accept letters from me in my return to my country, asking more questions?
I must say no, because it is very, very time consuming, and I get so much mail that it really is very difficult. The most I can answer is certainly not questions, but if items of information, if you want a reference somewhere, I can point you in a direction, but I can't spend time working out answers to the questions. I actually think that that's what you should be doing. You should be looking at the works and answering the questions yourself.
Yeah, but asking you will be different. That's why your answers now are quite important for me. So,
which university are you from?
Cairo University.
Well, as I have an Egyptian on the phone, can I tell you that I think your country has produced one of the greatest statesmen of the century?
Thank you.
Sadat.
Yeah.
A man of extraordinary courage and vision.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wesker.
Good luck.
Bye.
Right, bye.